According to the IRS, in 2011 alone, over $1 billion laid unclaimed by individuals due to either misfiling their taxes or not filing their taxes at all. Today we'll go over appropriate methods for filing your taxes and why it's important so that you don't lose out on that $1 billion. The proper method of choosing, or the proper method you should use, is based upon the medium, knowing the risks involved with that medium, and ensuring that medium provides basic assurances to mitigate said risk. Everyone in their lives will have to file taxes, so this is basic knowledge that everyone should be at least rudimentally familiar with. And I myself am a tax preparer, registered with the IRS, and have been preparing my own taxes for approximately the last 9 years. Today I'll tell you the general differences between the different mediums of filing, the risk associated with those mediums and the security they provide, as well as the most important factor, the convenience to you, the consumer. So let's discuss what those mediums are. There are two primary different mediums. First, you can self-file, and second, you can hire a firm. The first one you can file either via paper, which is a little bit more tedious and requires some rudimentary knowledge of your own, and the second you file through an online service, which could provide some basic assurance and protection, but generally the onus is still on you. Secondly, you could hire a firm. Now, you could either hire a tax preparer such as myself, which will be slightly more expensive than self-filing, which is virtually free, but you will be provided slightly more assurances, and it's great for kind of easier returns. Now, if you need something a little bit more complex, you can move up to a CPA. They offer the greatest amount of insurance, or assurance that you will not be penalized by the IRS, but they will also be the most costly. So now that you're familiar with the different types of filing, let's review what their risks are and what your risk tolerance might be. The IRS states that taxpayers are responsible for the accuracy of all entries made on their returns, which includes related schedules, forms, and supporting documentation. So you need to be comfortable with whoever you hire to do your returns, or comfortable with yourself filing your return. So understanding your responsibilities. Self-filing. All of the burden is on you. If you make a mistake, you will pay all penalties, and you will also be responsible for your tax burden. Now, if you hire a firm or even use software, there are some basic assurances that go into place, such as a misfiling that was solely responsible, or that the firm was solely responsible for. Typically, they will cover the penalties, although you are still responsible for your tax burden. So it can provide you some basic assurance. Understanding the penalties is also important. Now, audits can go back as far as 3 years for any issue, 6 years for significant issues, and indefinitely for fraud. So you want to make sure that everything is at least reported, if not wholly accurately, at least that you made an honest attempt. And secondly, late filings. Late filings can result into a 5% interest penalty for indefinite number of months, or until it reaches 25% of the total debt owed. And if you do not file within 3 years, you'll forfeit any return you may have been entitled to by the IRS. So now that you know what those risks are and what tolerance level you possess, you need to use the last factor and the most important factor, convenience. So it should be a convenient process, and there are several factors to consider. First, time consumption. Secondly, available resources. And third, cost. Obviously, if you're self-filing, it's going to be the most time-consuming, and you're going to need certain resources to be able to do that, primarily knowledge. But it's cheap. Moving up with the firm and up the ladder, you will incur more costs, but you will have far more resources, and your time will be much less spent on your taxes. So you need to choose the method that best benefits you as a consumer and where your time is the most valuable. So today you learned about the different types of filing and what filing you should select that provides the most assurance, and which one could possibly be the most convenient for you as a consumer. You must keep in mind of the importance of filing correctly. You don't want to forfeit any refund you may be due. You must minimize your risk. So as previously noted, the IRS has said that there was over $1 billion of unclaimed returns in the year 2011 alone. So next time you're filing, keep that in mind, and don't let your return go to waste.
Yay! Good job.